couple of weeks ago, I did a video about fish that are mean and you might not even know it. Link to that video will be up in that top right corner. But what about the flip side of that? What if you want a tank full of super peaceful fish that you never really have to worry about bothering anybody in your tank? We have both kinds of tanks and a lot of the fish on both of the lists, and let me tell you, it's a little unnerving knowing on any day, at any moment, some of our fish can break bad. We've got enough to worry about these days, so I get it that some people want to take fish killing each other out of their lives. So here we go. Here is our list of the fish that we believe are the nicest in the aquarium hobby. There's a common thing that can be said for every one of these fish, and that's I've never heard a story about them bothering or killing other fish. And that's true, with only one exception. That'll be later on in the list. Even that one will be hard to find a nightmare story about. But I'm sure there'll be some people that'll comment they've had one of these fish and it was a huge nightmare. If that's true, don't hesitate to share your story. Just understand that the fish on this list are known for being nice and non-aggressive. There's always exceptions, but I can confidently say if you get any of the fish on this list, you won't have any problems. Okay? Now let's start this off with a fish that I've never heard someone say, I had one and it was super mean. Like I said, I could say that about every one of these fish. The number one word I'd use to describe Corydoras is cute. They look cute. They swim cute. They're cute when they're scavenging around the substrate looking for food, and they're cute swimming around in little groups. Corys aren't the biggest fish on this list, but they're also not even close to the smallest, so when you're selecting tank mates, just make sure they're not big enough to eat these little guys, because other than some prickly spines around their mouth, they really have no defense. It's probably best to just stick with any other fish on this list.
Shrimp are something I've become completely obsessed with lately, and it's because they're fascinating to watch. They're super cute and they'll help control things like algae and uneaten food. They're also prolific breeders, so that's fun to watch, and you don't have to worry about them bothering anyone. Actually, the only thing you'll have to worry about is the other fish bothering them. This list is the nicest fish. Shrimp aren't fish, and they're also the number one source of protein you'll find in fish food, so yes, even the nicest fish on the planet will look at a shrimp as a snack. That's why we included them on this list, to make people aware that it doesn't matter how peaceful your fish are advertised to be, they'll eat shrimp and it's not even out of aggression, it's just nature. Some shrimp keepers look at this as a good thing because the other fish in the tank will help keep the population of them under control while providing a healthy food source for fish. You might consider that barbaric, but hey, it's nature. But the good thing is, shrimp are really fun to watch and see their numbers grow while they help keep your tank clean, and they'll never hurt any fish, so we had to include them in this video.
If you've been in this hobby longer than 5 minutes, you've heard someone say, man, I had this big nasty cichlid that wouldn't allow me to put anything in the tank with him. Whatever I put in there, he'd just immediately kill. But it doesn't matter if you've had fish tanks for 5 minutes or 50 years. What you've never heard is, man, I'm going to tell you something right now. Let me tell you what, I had this daggone goldfish, man. This thing was a total savage. It just killed everybody. Those words have just never come out of someone's mouth, and they never will, because goldfish could care less about territory, hierarchy, or expressing dominance over any other fish. They just do their own thing, swim around like they have a couple of screws loose, and look adorable while they're doing it. Yes, I'm a little biased because I have so many of these things, but what can I say? It's nice to have fish I don't have to worry about. Plus, these fish will tolerate pretty much any conditions, so you don't have to spend 20 hours a week making sure their water's immaculate. Now, this certainly isn't me saying it's perfectly fine to keep goldfish in horrible conditions. I'm just saying they'll be fine if things aren't perfect. But hey, listen, these aren't throwaway fish, so take care of them the same way you would any other fish. And you know what? Goldfish might even be the only fish on this list that won't eat shrimp. Obviously, they're not going to be in the same tank with Neocardinia, but would they eat ghost shrimp if they were together? I don't think so, but I could be wrong. Let's face it, if I'm wrong, you'll definitely tell me.
One of my favorite little fish is celestial pearl danios. Some call them CPDs, or some might even call them galaxy rasboras, but whatever you call them, you'll be getting an adorable fish that's only going to get about an inch long, so they're perfect in tiny nanotanks. I've been completely infatuated with nanotanks lately, and we've made quite a few videos about them, so I get asked all the time, what's the best fish to put in these little tanks? Obviously, the fish that's always on the top of the list for me is going to be betas. But if they want something different, celestial pearls are always one of the first I suggest. They're just so daggone cute I can't even stand it. As long as you have good vision, because when I say they're tiny, I mean they're like itty bitty. I mean, they're not tiny like brine shrimp, but the biggest they're going to get is around an inch. And you really don't realize how small that is till you get them next to other fish. Even neon tetras dwarf these fish. I've got a bunch of them in a 5-gallon, heavily planted tank, and it's so much fun watching them pop their little heads out from behind the leaves. I could just watch them all day. If you have a small tank with plenty of hiding places and need fish that don't have a mean bone in their body, get you a small group of these tiny beauties and you won't have anything to worry about.
Yay, Geophagus. Well, at least I know I'll be making my podcast partner happy. Oh, wait a minute. Did you not know about the podcast? I'm talking about the Tank Talk podcast that I do with Professor Jason Adams from Primetime Aquatics. We talk everything aquariums and upload new episodes every Monday to give you something to start off your week right. You can find the podcast in video form on YouTube, which will be linked in the description, as well as the little eye in the top right corner of your screen, and there'll also be links for it in audio form on all your favorite podcast platforms. We'd love it if you checked it out and left us a review. It really does help us out a lot. Anyway, so far we've talked about a bunch of small fish. Well, except for goldfish and the next fish Lisa's going to talk about. But what if you don't want any of these little girly fish? What if you want to get into the world of big gnarly cichlids but don't feel like dealing with the aggression that always comes with them? Well, this is where Geophagus comes in. Geos will enter you into the world of big cichlids without all the hassle and attitude. And here's the thing. It could be argued that they're also way better looking than a lot of the big cichlids. I know that's going to sound blasphemous to Midas and Texas lovers, but hey, all of this is subjective. What's not subjective is geos are one of the most peaceful cichlids you'll find in the hobby. So you get the looks, you get the size, and you don't get the aggression. Like my mom always said, it's like having your cake and eating it too. Plus, they'll help sift your substrate and keep that clean too, so it's just another bonus.
Okay, how many lists could discus be on? Most beautiful fish, most difficult to keep, most fun to breed, most controversy when it comes to where they come from. Discus are one of those fish that could pretty much appear on any list that's ever been made about fish. Except ugliest. No way. But another thing about discus is they're also super sweet, for the most part. Remember earlier when John said there's one fish on this list that might not be an angel all the time? Well, this is the fish he was talking about. Don't get me wrong, discus are sweethearts and will almost never give you problems, unless it comes time to breed. If you have two that pair off, they're going to pick a spot in the corner or on a rock or driftwood and start to clean it off to lay their eggs. They'll start to protect that area as soon as they find it, but it won't get really bad till the eggs are laid. Once you see eggs, you know things are going to get pretty ugly if other fish try to come get them. I mean, it's not a bloodbath, but the parents will definitely chase anyone off that gets near their eggs. But if they're not breeding, they're the sweetest fish and can be kept with any other peaceful community fish. I've had them with cardinal tetras, rummy nose, harlequins, Corydoras, and placos, and some others too, but I can't remember. The point is, I don't ever remember saying, oh no, those discus are being so mean. In fact, it's the other way around. I almost never worry about the discus. It's the other fish with them that I worry about. The last thing you want is a bunch of $3 tetras to hurt your $200 discus.
Here's the thing about guppies. They're a fish that I don't even think is capable of being mean. They're live bears that pop out babies all the time and just keep on swimming like nothing happened. So it's not like they have to defend their young. They're so small that they eat crumbs that fall out of other fish's mouths, and so they're not fighting over food, and they're constantly moving around, never staying in the same place for longer than a second, so that also takes fighting over territory out of the equation. They simply have nothing to fight over, so they have no reason to be mean. But like discus, the thing you'll want to be concerned about is other fish being mean to them. This usually isn't an issue because unless you're some kind of savage, you're not putting these fish with big cichlids or monster fish. So the only thing you'll ever need to worry about are community fish that nip fins like tiger barbs. The whole point to guppies is their fins, so if some stupid tiger barb comes along and ruins that, you're going to be pretty pissed. And I'm sorry, I shouldn't have called tiger barbs stupid. I actually like them, but it's true. They nip fins, so don't put them with guppies. So there you go. Now you know some fish that you can put in your tank that you don't have to worry about killing everything else in the tank. This is a real problem in the fish keeping community, and it's something that people contact me about all the time. So if you get any of the fish that we've talked about today, you should be good. I'd like to take this opportunity to apologize for not showing you Lisa's beautiful face today, and yeah, maybe mine too. I don't know, if you're weird, you might feel that way, but it's nothing bad. Everything's fine. We were just having a little bit of technical issues, so we said, you know what? We're just going to do this whole thing voiceover, and I got to be honest, I kind of like that. Let me know what you think. Please remember, if you are someone that is looking for ways to support this channel, you can do this simply by subscribing to the channel. That really does make us very happy and help us out a lot. But if you want to take it a step further and you want bonus videos every single Sunday, click that join button down below, become a channel member. We put out extra videos every Sunday just for members. They have to do with the video topic that we did that day. So it's like little bonus features that I think you'll enjoy. So that's how you'll get access to those. And you can also order whatever it is that you're buying all the time for your aquarium from our website, keepfishkeeping.com. You're going to be buying these things anyway, so you might as well order them from us. I'll put a link down in the description for that, or you can just click that fancy shelf that's right below the video. But anyway, listen, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helps you out. We'll see you next week. See ya.